Sometimes heroes come in the most unexpected forms. Whether it's a quick-thinking bystander or an unassuming stranger, these everyday people stepped up to catch thieves and save the day in ways no one saw coming. Hero Dad. In Brampton, a dad became an unexpected hero when a car thief tried to steal his SUV with his baby inside, right from his own driveway. The whole thing unfolded in broad daylight, and the dad wasn't having it. Without hesitation, he rushed to stop the thief, doing whatever it took to protect his child and his car. The best part? It was all captured on a surveillance camera. Fearless Kid. This fearless 7-year-old stood up to 2 armed robbers during a GameStop holdup in Maryland. According to the police, the robbers, both armed with guns, ordered 3 customers, including the young boy, to line up against a wall. While they forced the sales associates to hit the ground, the robbers started grabbing cash and goods. But this little guy wasn't scared. He actually threw a punch at one of the robbers. The whole thing was intense, but luckily it's unclear if anyone was hurt during the heist. Bobcat Burglar. A clumsy crook in Columbus, Ohio, has police cracking up, and they've given him a hilarious nickname, the Bobcat Burglar. This guy tried to break into a Dollar General one summer night, but things didn't go as planned. His attempted getaway was a series of awkward falls and stumbles, making him look more like a cartoon character than a criminal. Despite his misadventures, the Bobcat Burglar managed to grab alcohol, food, cigarettes, and electronics before finally making his exit. While he may not have been the smoothest thief, he definitely gave the cops something to laugh about. Best pizza delivery man ever. A pizza delivery guy in Pennsylvania is being called a hero after helping catch a suspect on the run. Tyler Morrell was just doing his job, delivering a pizza, when a suspected car thief tried to bolt after jumping out of a vehicle during a police chase. Quick on his feet, Morrell stuck out his foot and tripped the guy, making it way easier for police to catch up and arrest him. Despite the whole dramatic scene, Morrell still delivered the pizza on time and without a scratch. Female jewelry thief. This woman, nicknamed the Jogger Jewelry Thief, might just be the boldest and most dangerous female robber around. Surveillance footage shows her casually strolling into a jewelry store, then swiping diamonds and watches from the display cases like it's no big deal. The heist went down at a Jared vault in Mabane, North Carolina, but it's not her first rodeo. This marks her 6th robbery since April. She's been hitting similar stores in Florida, Georgia, and Tennessee, leaving a trail of stolen goods behind. The FBI's on the hunt to catch her before she strikes again. $60,000 necklace. Surveillance footage captured a wild scene where a store clerk hands over a $60,000 gold necklace to an alleged thief, who then casually puts it around his neck and walks off. Police in Florida say the suspect made one big mistake. He left behind someone else's ID. Authorities describe the guy as being around 18 to 20 years old, standing about 5 feet 9 inches tall. The police are offering a $3,000 reward for any anonymous tips that lead to his arrest. Looks like this guy made off with a serious steal, and now it's time to bring him in. Stealing a truck. David Summers' quick thinking helped him catch 3 guys trying to steal the catalytic converter from his truck. He noticed the motion light go off and got an alert from his security camera that someone was outside. Thanks to his alertness, he was able to catch them in the act. Authorities say catalytic converters have become valuable targets at junkyards, with thieves looking to cash in on them. They're offering tips to help others protect their vehicles from these kinds of thefts. Smash and grab thieves. In California, jewelry store employees weren't about to let smash and grab robbers get away without a fight. It all went down in broad daylight when 4 suspects, wearing ski masks, stormed the store. As soon as one suspect smashed a jewelry case, a customer took off running, but the store's owner wasn't backing down. He charged at the thief with fists flying, trying to stop him in his tracks. At the same time, a female employee jumped in, kicking one of the masked robbers. Car thief. Cops in Happy Valley, Oregon, got a call about a guy trying to break into cars, and when they showed up, they found Isaiah John Gellety lying in the front seat of a 1998 Honda Accord. As soon as he spotted the officers, Galati took off, leading them on a high-speed chase. The police threw out spike strips, deflating the car's tires, but Galati wasn't giving up. He jumped out of the moving car and started running. Unfortunately for him, he ended up getting pinned to a building by the very car he was driving. Cop couple. Two Kentucky cops who had just tied the knot 6 months earlier were enjoying a rare date night when they found themselves right in the middle of a robbery. The couple was at their favorite spot, Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, in the Mid-City Mall in Elizabethtown, about 40 miles south of Louisville, when a masked man walked in. Surveillance footage shows the guy pulling out a gun and demanding money from the register. Instead of being just regular customers, these two officers were suddenly witnesses to a crime, putting them in the middle of the action on what should have been a quiet end. Trapped. A man, known as the Gatorade Man, had been a regular at a convenience store in the neighborhood for almost a year, stealing snacks, drinks, and candy. He'd come in, load up his bags, and walk right out, getting away with it week after week. But one day, after filling his bags again, the store clerk had had enough and locked the doors, trapping him inside. The thief tried everything to escape, even jumping and kicking at the door, but finally, he gave up and left the stolen goods behind. The store owner, Dennis, didn't want to press charges but needed a way to stop it. After a conversation with a local guy who knew the thief, they met up. The man apologized, and as part of the deal, he worked for Dennis for a full day.
He worked for me for a full day, probably 10 hours. He scrubbed my dispensers and cleaned up the parking lot.
Ulta beauty robbery suspect. A robbery suspect in Colorado made a questionable choice for a getaway vehicle, a scooter. The Wheat Ridge police got a call about a theft at an Ulta beauty store, and when they checked the surveillance footage, they saw the guy grabbing stuff off the shelves. Police chased him on foot and followed him with patrol cars, but the suspect kept scooting away. Eventually, they caught him, and to no surprise, he was hauling 19 bottles of perfume worth nearly $2,600. The guy's choice of escape vehicle didn't quite help him get away, but at least he made for an interesting chase. 78-year-old robbed. An elderly woman was robbed while praying at her church in Tennessee. Linda Morrow, 78, arrived early for a prayer meeting at Hilldale Baptist Church in Clarksville. Surveillance footage shows two women sitting next to her, one in front and the other behind. One of the women started chatting with Morrow and even asked her to hold hands for a prayer. While she had her eyes closed, the other woman reached into Morrow's bag, took her wallet, and swiped the cash and other items. Jewelry heist. A New York City jewelry store got hit in an early morning burglary that caused a ton of damage. The NYPD says it went down around 3:30 a.m. on Park Avenue. 3 suspects used a sledgehammer to break through 2 glass doors and get inside. Once they were in, surveillance footage shows them smashing up multiple display cases and grabbing as much jewelry as they could. They made off with about $500,000 worth of merchandise. It's a pretty bold heist, and now police are on the lookout for the suspects who caused all that destruction. Customers or thieves. In broad daylight, 3 people pulled off a daring jewelry heist in New York City, and now cops are scrambling to recover up to $4 million worth of gems. Surveillance footage shows the suspects acting like regular customers before pulling out guns and forcing employees to the ground. They tied the workers up with zip ties and duct tape before making off with everything they could grab. Purse snatcher. Around 40 purses are stolen every day in the U.S., but one thief picked the wrong target. Sarah Fuentes, a 22-year-old Navy petty officer, was having lunch with her cousin in Miami Beach when a thief grabbed her Louis Vuitton bag. Instead of letting it go, Fuentes immediately chased after him. She caught up with the suspect as he climbed into his getaway car and tried to drive off while leaning out to snatch the purse. Bakery burglar. After a thief broke into her Milwaukee bakery and stole the cash register, owner Karen Krieg came up with a sweet way to catch him. She took the image from her security camera and made cookies with the guy's face on them, basically an edible wanted poster. She handed out the cookies to customers, and in no time, the community recognized the crook. Within 18 minutes, several people identified him, Karen said. The thief, later identified as Dominic Culp, was arrested and charged with burglary. And of course, Karen made more cookies featuring his mugshot. $87K gone. A California jewelry store is stepping up its security after being hit by a smash-and-grab robbery. 6 armed thieves stormed in and stole $87,000 worth of merchandise. In response, the store upgraded to bulletproof glass display cases and added extra security cameras. This robbery is just one of many smash-and-grab incidents happening across the U.S. The thieves usually strike in broad daylight and cause a lot of damage, without a care for the destruction they leave behind. Exotic birds. Thieves in California are getting bold, breaking into a veterinary hospital to steal parrots. It's the latest in a wave of crimes targeting pets. First, French bulldogs, and now exotic birds are the new targets. Michelle Martin, who owns Feed Barn, says 2 men smashed through the store's front door to snatch 3 rare birds. This has sent bird owners across the country on high alert, watching their cages more closely. Robbery suspect or daredevil. A California woman turned into a total daredevil while trying to escape from cops in Los Angeles. Amelia Manzano, 21, was wanted for robbery and kicked off her wild chase by driving recklessly through traffic, nearly hitting other cars. When she spotted a house, she climbed up and started leaping from roof to roof, like something out of an action movie. Eventually, she jumped down and landed right on someone's car. It was a bizarre and dangerous scene, but the cops eventually caught up with her. Definitely not how you'd expect a getaway to go down. Stealing Porsche. A man trying to sell his Porsche got a shocking surprise when he was run over by his own car. In Canada, Peel Regional Police are looking for a suspect who pretended to be a buyer to steal the luxury SUV. The victim took the suspect for a test drive in the Porsche Cayenne, got out of the passenger seat, and stood behind the car. That's when the suspect suddenly reversed the vehicle, hitting the owner. Police are now reminding people to stay cautious when selling items online, especially when meeting up with strangers. Confronted. A sharp-eyed employee in Beaverton, Oregon, caught a woman trying to shoplift when she noticed something off about her. When the woman started emptying out her purse, the employee was stunned to find it was packed full of items from the store. As the suspect tried to make a run for it, the employee wasn't having it and wrestled the bag away from her. This incident comes as New York City Mayor Eric Adams rolled out a new plan to crack down on bold robberies happening all over. Targeted. The NYPD is warning about a rise in jewelry scams targeting the elderly. They've reported that groups of thieves are using kids as distractions while they steal valuable items. These scammers often try to get close to victims by pretending to offer gifts or blessings, or even ask for cash while trying to sell fake jewelry. Authorities are urging everyone to be extra cautious and keep an eye out for these tricksters who are specifically targeting older people. Stolen truck. In Beaverton, Oregon, an Elephant's delicatessen truck was stolen while employees were loading it in a warehouse parking lot. The suspect hopped into the driver's seat and drove off, with one of the employees still inside. Thankfully, the employees quickly used AirTags to track down the stolen truck. Thanks to their quick thinking, they were able to locate it and get it back. Designer bags. A group of thieves went wild at a Nordstrom rack in Riverside, California, making off with a ton of purses in under a minute. Surveillance footage shows 6 suspects grabbing as many bags as they could carry and running out the door. Police say this isn't the first time the store's been hit, with multiple thefts happening recently. In fact, several $1,000s worth of designer handbags have been stolen by different groups. Attempted theft. James Sue, the owner of Car Care Auto Spa in Chicago, had a close call when a suspect tried to rob his shop. The suspect asked for money, but James refused to open the register. After a tense back and forth, the suspect started messing with his gun. That's when James noticed the gun wasn't working, so he grabbed it from him. James later admitted, "It wasn't my best decision, but thankfully, he came out unscathed." Expensive meat. An invisible bandit has been caught stealing thousands of dollars worth of high-end meat after hitting multiple supermarkets across Adelaide. The guy, dubbed a magician for his sneaky moves, has reportedly stolen meat 15 times in just the past month. He's been spotted on security cameras at Drake's supermarkets in areas like Ayr, Gawler, and Newton, making a beeline for the good stuff, top quality cuts of Wagyu and Angus beef. After picking his prey, he slyly tucks the meat into his jacket and walks out with just a cheap item at the checkout. In total, he's stolen over $5,000 worth of stock. Apparently, expensive meats like these are now a hot commodity on the black market, with thieves trading them for illegal items like drugs. Thieves flee. Around 10,000 worth of mobile phones were stolen from a Tesco store in Crawley on December 29th. CCTV footage shows a group of men swiping phones that were on display for demonstrations at the Hazelwick Avenue location. The handshaker shoplifter. A thief walked into a store, pretending to be a regular customer. He asked about an EBT card, but when told it wasn't accepted, he casually browsed the aisles, grabbing snacks without paying. After picking out some Funyuns, he moved down the aisle to grab 2 packs of Keebler crackers, which he slipped into his jacket pocket. Acting normal, he checked to make sure the cashier wasn't looking, and then pretended to keep shopping. The cashier, noticing the crackers were missing, checked the footage and saw the theft. The thief tried to pump gas and leave, but was caught before he could pull away. The store owner confronted him, but the thief tried to lie his way out, claiming he only took 1 pack. Surveillance showed otherwise. Electronic naber. A guy with some questionable plans broke into a store twice in one night. He first threw a rock through the door, but after checking the area, he realized he couldn't get into the register. Instead, he grabbed some energy drinks and beef jerky, before getting distracted by a lottery display and realizing it was fake. After hanging around, he left, but came back 10 minutes later with a bigger rock. This time, he tried again to break into the register, but no luck. So he switched gears and grabbed a bunch of random stuff, like a Predator action figure, Bluetooth earpiece, a box of headphones, a taser, and even a wireless charging pad. With a haul of odd items, he snuck out once more. Little Red robbing hoodlum. So this woman, looking like Little Red Riding Hood, walks into a store, acting all casual. She heads straight for the coolers, does a little thief scratch, and starts searching for a drink. After checking a few options and even eyeing the beer cave, she finds a Red Bull in a tricky spot, right in front of the register. She looks around, spots the cashier, and pretends to put the drink back. But instead, she switches it with a bag of chips and stuffs it in her bag. She hesitates a bit, grabs some more stuff, but ultimately decides on the Red Bull again. As she walks out, the cashier's on her trail, trying to get her license plate. Brazen jewelry thief. Florida authorities are on the lookout for a man who allegedly swiped an engagement ring and wedding band set from a Miramar Beach jewelry store on March 22nd. Surveillance footage from McCaskill and Company shows the man examining the rings outside after asking an employee if he could see them in the sunlight. While the employee turned to head back inside, the man claimed he needed to grab his wallet. Instead, he casually walked off with the rings still in his hand. By the time the employee realized what had happened, he was long gone. Trick or treat. This mom and her daughter, dressed as Kimberly the Pink Power Ranger, walk into a store. The mom grabs a bottle of vodka but heads to the bathroom with her kid. After a while, they come out, and mom starts wandering around the store. She picks up some drinks, but while looking at mixers, she steals 2 cans of Sunkissed. It's only a few bucks, but still. After that, they keep walking around, and suddenly the store worker catches on and confronts her. The mom tries to deny it, but is caught on camera and asked about the vodka she stuffed in her purse earlier. The whole thing gets awkward when she's told to wait for the police. But as they sit in the car, it looks like they try to leave. The worker calls them out, saying they need to turn themselves in.
So do you just like teach your kids to steal?
What?
Do you teach your kids to steal? How old is she that you're stealing with her? You got way more in your purse. You're a fucking liar. All right, open your purse right now. You want to dump it out?
Yeah, here,
Yeah.
will you hold this?
What'd you do with the bottle of vodka you put in your purse before you went into the bathroom? What'd you do with it? I have you on camera. You're gonna lie and say you didn't do that? Are you gonna lie and say you didn't do that? You put a bottle of vodka in your purse before you went into the bathroom. Did you or did you not?
Can she get in
Did
the car?
you?
Can she please get
Oh,
in the car?
you don't want to? Oh, you don't want him to see this because you stole right in front of her?
Car keys. This guy walks into the store looking super sketchy. He keeps glancing at the counter, the camera, and back again. Red flags everywhere. Then he grabs a 16 OZ Bud Light and shoves it down his pants like no one's watching. After that, he browses the coolers, picks up an orange Gatorade, changes his mind, and grabs a blue one instead. He shakes it, pays for some Swisher Sweets, and dips. When he heads to his car, fumbles for his keys for what feels like forever, then realizes he lost them. He comes back inside, and surprise, the clerk isn't giving the keys back because, yep, he got caught stealing. The guy tries to deny it, but the clerk calls him out, saying they saw him on camera. He finally admits it, but now he's stuck.
You gotta pay for it because we can't put it back now.
Where's that, bro?
You wanna watch? Would you put it in your car when you went out there? Yeah.
I ain't
You're
got
paying
it.
for it. You have money or not? Or I have to call the cops?
Man.
I have to call the
I
cops.
ain't steal no beer, but here, man.
You're a liar. I have you on camera.
All right, man. Okay, all right.
What are you gonna admit to it? Yeah, you stole.
All right, man. Okay.
You put it in the car.
Okay, man.
Fucking liar. Get the fuck out of here. Don't ever come back.
Can I get my change?
No, get the fuck out.
Hiding shirts. Two shoplifters pulled off a sneaky theft at Molly Brown's in Beverly, Yorkshire on Saturday afternoon. While one distracted the staff, the other shamelessly stuffed designer items into a hidden pouch in her skirt. The family-owned store's team was left feeling hurt, upset, and completely numb after the incident. Organized shoplifting. Lexington police are trying to ID a group of 5 people who worked together to steal hundreds of dollars worth of merchandise from Vengeance in Fayette Mall. The theft happened on October 23, 2018, and the whole thing was caught on camera. Surveillance footage shows 2 women and 3 men, likely aged from their late teens to 40s, stuffing several pairs of pants into what looked like other shopping bags. Things escalated when store employees confronted the group in the parking lot. One of the men reportedly flashed a handgun before they all took off in a car with an out-of-state license plate. Shoplifting in Kohl's. Here's surveillance footage from Kohl's on Gateway Boulevard, showing alleged shoplifters Ryan Moody, 25, and Elisha Wilson, 23. During the incident, a Boynton Beach police officer was injured when he was hit by a car while chasing Moody. Gold thief. CCTV caught 27-year-old Sufachai Panthong walking into a store in Chobri, Thailand on November 30th, pretending to check out a 500 gold necklace. He put it around his neck, acted like he was admiring it, then suddenly bolted for the door. But his getaway didn't go as planned. Store owner Jarai Nidakarun, 41, had already locked the door, suspecting something was up. Jewelry store robbery. 3 guys, dressed up as women, broke into LSO Jewelry and Repair on Southwest St. Lucie West Boulevard. They managed to pull off the robbery in quite the bizarre disguise. Brazen burglars. Surveillance cameras caught 3 hooded armed thieves breaking into a Milwaukee home on Saturday night. The 5 cameras recorded everything as the burglars stormed in and made off with several electronics. What they didn't realize was that the homeowner and her 12-year-old son, Edmundo Pena, were inside at the time. Edmundo was playing video games when it all happened. "I heard the first bang and didn't know what it was," he shared, still shaken by the experience. What was your favorite footage? Comment down below and let me know. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. See you next time. Goodbye.